intercepted and looked over. Welsh with the headed clearance, he should have tried to head the ball to the sides of the field if possible. He wasn't able to do that, and his headed clearance went straight to a Cuban player who was able to capitalize on it.
Some more fans trickling in at the Hazley Crawford Stadium. Very cold evening.
Cool is relative, James.
Well, the players so far showing no real effects of the temperature here. Perhaps the Cubans adapting a bit better to the wet, cold conditions.
For anybody listening up the Caribbean, you have no reason to be afraid of frostbite in Trinidad. It's probably about 22 degrees Celsius or something.
Well, that's very cool in the Caribbean, by Caribbean standards, by comparison. Maurice Ford battling for this one to keep possession. And Jesus Perez helps him in getting it out. Cubans manage to keep it though. Here they come. Cuba now with another chance, and Lopez gets a shot in. And Johan Welsh, he seemed a bit concerned as that one flew past his upright. Not too far, but there we see Lopez getting another crack at goal, and it was dangerous.
And again, you see Trinidad struggling to play the ball out. I don't understand fully why that is. There's so many players that's in so many deep positions in terms of the Cuban players, and we should be able to move the ball around better than this. Should have a little bit more patience in coming out the back.
Well, here comes Maurice Ford now.
Again,
seems to be struggling to get past that player.
Yeah. The players are getting caught holding on to the ball a little bit too long in the back, and we really need to start moving that ball around quicker than this.
Red shirts now in search of another goal. Trinidad and Tobago have won it now. It is a counter attack. 3 players supporting. Goes now to Trinidad and Tobago. It's Ikem Andrews. He's switched sides. Number 15 for Trinidad and Tobago. Here's a chance now for Humphrey. Turns one, swings his right boot, and it goes just wide of the upright.
Yeah.
So Trinidad and Tobago coming into their own now from the counter attack and getting an opportunity in this match to perhaps pull themselves back level, but not exactly as accurate as he would have liked the number 17 for Trinidad and Tobago, as we see on the replay here.
Yeah, well, it was always a half chance. I'm not sure what Humphrey's resume is in terms of a long distance and shooter. I'd like to see us, move the ball a bit and get the team, collectively on the ball.
Well, Mitchell finds his captain Gomez charging forward now. Loses possession though. It's touch a bit too heavy. Perhaps trying to get a little too fancy. Swung up the pitch. Lopez picks it up now. The goal scorer for Cuba.
Again, a giveaway.
Here comes the number 10 for Cuba now. Picked up by Ikem Andrews. Levi Garcia returning to his original side of the field, the left-hand side, as a bit cheeky. Ends up being too cheeky for Cuba.
Yeah.
Long one into Dillon now. Big presence of Dillon. He's got one on his back. Manages to hold on to it. The man wearing the number 19 shirt, made famous, of course, by Trinidad and Tobago's former Manchester United player, Dwight York. Big shoes to fill.
Big shoes to fill.
Well, here's Gomez now, looking to find one of the 4 red shirts dancing inside the area. Tries to find Dillon. Can't get it, but they win themselves a throw-in, as signaled by the linesman, or referee's assistant, as it's called these days. Yes, Neville Hackshaw on the bench for Trinidad and Tobago, one of the players, rested by Coach King, as Cuba try to create a counter-attack of their own. They don't seem to be in a hurry to get forward, these Cubans. They've got possession, and that one could draw a greeting card from the referee. In fact, it is a greeting card. Yellow in color. It goes to the number 10, Roberto Peraza for Cuba. A very harsh challenge by an unappreciating Dillon. Just the look on his face says he didn't appreciate that challenge.
Yeah. We've done well from some set pieces. Of course, in the last game, it was Matthew Wooling that got a free kick in from about this angle that
Ikem Andrews
was able to head home. Of course, Wooling is on the bench right now, but we were doing pretty well threatening set pieces so far in tournament.
And I'm seeing Levi Garcia standing over this one. Mitchell has been the first choice for most of the set pieces for Trinidad and Tobago. But Garcia is also there. Trinidad and Tobago committing 5 players in the area. Cuba committing 10. 5 versus 10. As the referee seems to be unhappy about something. Perhaps the Trinidad and Tobago plan busted a bit. So Garcia now to retake it. The referee seems happy. To find 5, 1 of 5 in the area. Can't find any. 1 trying to find 5. Ends up with 0. Pythagoras theorem perhaps. Complicated type of mathematics.
Yeah, I'm glad to have left maths behind me a long time ago, James.
So Trinidad and Tobago, they trail by a goal to nil in the 28th minute. Cuba scoring after 10 minutes of this match. Frank Manuel Lopez, the number 11.
And just seconds before that, Nicholas Dillon hit the bar for Trinidad, and that was the difference so far.
So here they come now. Here's the goal scorer, Lopez, picking it up now. Seems to be dishing it out. Everything seems to be coming through him. Seems to be the chefe, as they say in Portuguese, meaning boss.
Yeah, yeah. This is when Neville Hackshaw is such a big physical presence. It'll be interesting to see him inside of there. But he did leave the field on a stretcher on Sunday. I don't think he's injured, but maybe he's a little bit banged up, and they're safe for them, hopefully, to play in a final on Friday.
Well, here's Cuba's TNT clear the danger, and the number 6 tries to get a crack, and that one is very horizontally inaccurate.
Yeah, that troubled the ball boys more than Johan Welsh.
Well, the ball boy certainly is making a meal of this one. Finally gets control as the number 6 there for Cuba, Gilbert Iglesias.
And he's a new addition to the team, really, which allowed them to push forward a bit more with Brian Rosales. So that's one of the players that just brought in to do a job today against Trinidad.
Well, here comes the Cubans yet again. It's the number 13 now, trying to find some space. He does get past Gomez. Maybe I said that too soon, as Gomez wins it back, and Shannon Welsh helps to ease the tension. Here's Dillon now, coming deep to get this one. He's getting a lot of attention, some of it illegal. In fact, his actions were illegal, as Cuba get an opportunity now. It's the number 7 for Cuba. Sanami having Gomez scrambling now. The number 6 gets in on the action. Here he comes now down the left-hand side. Iglesias can't get it over though. It's touch too heavy as it goes out into touch. Shannon Gomez seems to be struggling a bit this evening. Found himself on his rectal side, or rectum side. But here's another chance for Levi Garcia for Trinidad and Tobago now. Oh, this pace seems to be troubling the players now for Cuba. Goes down in a heap. No foul, says the referee, as
and Jabari Mitchell doesn't seem too impressed at all. He was as free as a bird, as they would say. Levi Garcia tried to go past this man when he didn't need to do so.
A bit greedy, perhaps, as we tend to see in the Caribbean.
Yeah, I mean the individual ability from Trinidad and Tobago, I think, has been decisive in the earlier 2 games. But it is important to see more collective play, especially as we play against tougher opponents.
Well, some people may consider this team one of the best under-20 teams in several years. In fact, some even going as far as saying the best ever. Do you share the same opinion, Lasala Lywood?
Those people have very, very short memories, James.
That seems to be the nature of a lot of Trinidad and Tobago football fans. Some may agree. Must say good evening to all our viewers locked on around the Caribbean. Live at the Hazley Crawford Stadium now. So this Caribbean under-20 final round match. Trinidad and Tobago versus Cuba. Cuba lead by a goal to nil. 31 minutes gone so far.
I mean, there's a lot of ability on this team, definitely. I think we're seeing a team that's still very early in its development. I think the team could get a lot better, sharper, better collectively and everything else. But there's ability there, and hopefully they'll get a chance to be played properly before they go to the next stage in January in Jamaica.
Well, what about Cuba though? Some people consider this Cuban team a bit tad disappointing coming into the tournament. They were touted as one of the top teams in the group. They've struggled somewhat.
Yeah, I mean, at this level, of course, you go by the reputation of the country more than anything else, And
well, here's Trinidad and Tobago now, a chance from distance, charged down by the Cubans. Shannon Gomez gets a touch now. Happy to be in an offensive position. Had been defending for quite a while as this one causes some trouble in there. It's gone out. The final touch coming off of Trinidad and Tobago. It is going to be Cuba's ball. Here comes the Cubans. Short throw. Can't get it away. In fact, it comes off of Aiken Amju's. Cuba get a second bite. There's the number 7 with a cheeky bit of skill there. Fortunately, it comes to no end. So Josiah Trimington filling in the central defensive role. Hasn't looked too badly. The player on the ball at the moment, Trimington.
That's Birmingham.
Certainly as fitted in almost naturally.
Well, I mean, the back four hasn't had much to do. I still think that I'd like to see them make their passes a little bit earlier, and sometimes I find that they kind of deliberate on the ball a little bit too much.
And here's Levi Garcia getting a touch now. Maurice Ford in a spot of bother manages to work his way out, or has he? Hasn't successfully.
It seems sometimes as if they wait to have the ball under control before they look for a pass rather than before.
Another Cuban player, the number 10, Roberto Peraza. Seems to be in a bit of physical discomfort. There's the goal scorer on your screen. Lopez. Cubans now must be quite happy with the current result. 34 minutes gone, they lead by a goal to nil over Trinidad and Tobago. The game plan seems to be paying dividends. Not the most ambitious Cuban teams in terms of offensive prowess. Seem quite content to remain behind the ball.
As it is right now, the scoreline probably suits both teams. Both teams go through. Trinidad plays in the final as it is right now.
Cubans might be hoping to change that sometime soon.
Possibly. Even if Trinidad and Tobago were to equalize, Cuba would still go through. If Trinidad and Tobago were to get 2 goals, Cuba would be out, and we'd have that Curacao, no, Suriname going on to the CONCACAF stage.
What we did see Suriname play against Curacao, and the Curacao team winning that game by 3 goals to 2, but lots of chances presented themselves for the Curacao team. In fact, a goal or 2 more and they could have seen themselves competing for CONCACAF spot.
Yeah, that's true. Not every day a nation like Curacao gets into the CONCACAF stage at all.
Here comes Trinidad and Tobago, a long punt up the field. Can only find the other side of the field as it goes out into touch. What do you make of the level of the Caribbean Football Union under 20 tournament this time around?
In terms of the quality of the teams, to be honest, James, I mean, I haven't been that impressed. I think the teams are probably fairly evenly matched. So I think the games have been relatively competitive. We haven't really seen, apart from the 4-0 game, we really haven't seen any team being put to the sword in that way. At the same time, I can't say any team has really taken the breath away. There have, of course, been some good individuals. We have the Surinamese captain, and Ike Andrews, and a couple of Trinidad boys, definitely Levi Garcia. But I can't say any team, has stood out head and shoulders above the others.
So here comes Trinidad and Tobago's now. Andrews trying to get Mitchell going. Referee blows on infringement as Humphrey tries to get it under control with some objection from the Cuban players. Julians is the captain of the Suriname team. One of the players was just mentioned. Levi Garcia and Ikem Andrews, they stand over this one as the referee applies a little magic spray. They seem to be the preferred pairing for Trinidad and Tobago when it comes to set pieces. Trinidad and Tobago, in fact, Garcia stepped away from this one. He's left it all to Andrews. 6, maybe even 7 players trying to get into the action for Trinidad and Tobago, showing perhaps a sign of intent as the referee tries to get things under control in the area. 7 white shirts to aim at. 7 versus 10. This one goes in long and high. The goalkeeper coming a long way. It's going to be cleared, is it? The referee has spotted something that he isn't too pleased with. It is going to be Cuba's ball. Referee Leo Clark of St. Lucia, main man in this contest. As we see there, the goalkeeper being very brave, coming off his line to clear that danger. Cuba surviving. Cubans have looked very organized in defense so far. They've defended well against set pieces. They try to create one of their own from a goal kick. All the way back to Welsh, who has to come a long way off his line. Seems to prefer playing like that, or might be tactical, but not to everybody's liking that he's coming so high off his line.
Yeah, especially when he seems to be the goalkeeper and the defender seem to get in each other's way sometimes almost.
Almost seems to be like a Manuel Neuer for Germany, goalkeeper sweeper.
I'm sure he'd appreciate that comparison, James.
But certainly, all goalkeepers like to, get that touch on their feet sometimes. Bouncing around in the Trinidad and Tobago half now. Trimmingham gets into the action. So too Gomez. After Trimmingham, it's found Humphrey. Ike Andrews turns well. He's lost 3 players behind him. Charging at the Cubans now. 3 inside the area to aim at. Can't get past the last defender. The 19 for Cuba. David Ogelis getting a final touch. Here it is now for Trinidad and Tobago. Gomez tries to float this one in, and the goalkeeper comes. He can't get it. He wasn't sure where it went for a second there, but the referee may have just rewarded him for his bravery with a foul. In fact, he has. So a foul against the goalkeeper. A very brave lad, Pozo. Challenging everything high in the air. So his coach must be very happy. There we see again. Coming to get this one here. Yeah. And stopped by Levi Garcia, who came very hard at him. And
this is his first game of the tournament as well, Pozo. This is an interesting change because the normal first choice goalkeeper had captained the team in the first 2 games. That's Delvis Lampoy. I'm not sure if there's an injury or if there's any other issue there.
What's even more interesting is that he's wearing the captain's armband. First game, and he gets the armband.
Yeah.
Must have really impressed in training.
That coach seems to be quite biased towards goalkeepers.
Might have brought an apple for the coach in training. You know it goes. Oh, here comes Trinidad and Tobago now. Gomez gets on the action. Hasn't enjoyed the freedom to go forward as much as he'd like. Gomez already charging forward. He seems very anxious to go forward. The W connection player. Battle forward in midfield now. Humphrey trying his best to win this one back for Trinidad and Tobago. He gets some help. Still can't get it. That's Lopez trying to get his man going forward. It's going to be Cuba's ball. It's Trimmingham. Show being taken by Cuba quickly. Puffed high into the night sky. Here's the Crawford Stadium. And Perez gets a touch there, meaning that Welsh has to use his footwork. And there we see some goalkeeper footwork coming into play for San Livewood.
Yes. Welsh, he does seem to enjoy the ball on his feet a lot. Oh, that's for sure.
Maybe some of the earlier practice coming into play there.
Well, I like to see him do better with the ball in his hands and on his head, but it's like I said, he's been there for a while. He's held on to the number 1 jersey. Here he is again for his second successive Caribbean qualifying tournament. So he definitely seems to be the person that's earmarked to lead his age group.
Well, here's Gomez battling for this one. He's lost possession. He has to do a lot of work to win it back, and a great tackle in the end to win it back.
Yeah, very good recovery there by
a bit desperate in the end, but But I'm sure the coach is not going to be displeased by the recovery effort that we just saw from Gomez. Combatant number 2, part of the Trinidad and Tobago under-17 team that got within a point of qualifying for the World Youth Championships. Trinidad and Tobago Football Federation showing some loyalty to some of the players that was part of the past under-17 effort. Ike Manju is wrestling for that one there.
And then when the team starts preparing, this late and they're not able to get in international games before, as a coach, it ties your hands a bit because the under-17 players are the ones with the international experience. So it's a quick fix almost as well, to be honest.
And here's Humphrey now. Gets Mitchell into the action. Who on a high knee coming in there. Nothing signals from the referee as Gomez picks it up now. Finds Joseph. Goes all the way back to Jesus Perez. Maurice Ford gets in on the action now. Can't find the run of Mitchell. Cubans see that one intercepted by Maurice Ford. So 2 minutes remaining here at the Hazley Crawford Stadium. Anytime now, the fourth official should be signaling for time. Kimbell Ward, the man entrusted with that responsibility of St. Kitts and Nevis. Cubans leading by a goal to nil. Unless that could be changed here. Dillon challenging for this one. Here's Garcia now in on the action. Garcia now with a chance from distance. The goalkeeper fumbles, but in the end he hangs on. Lots of excited screams from the supporters here at the Hazley Crawford Stadium who thought something might just be up the sleeve of Levi Garcia, but in the end, the goalkeeper doing what he had to do.
Yeah, it's interesting looking at the team list, James, in terms of the ages, and Levi Garcia is the youngest player in the Trinidad and Tobago squad.
Well, that's very interesting. A lot of hype coming in behind his name when he came into this competition.
Well, it's even more interesting when I look at his age. I mean, his age is given us 16 years old. If that's so, you're talking about a guy who made his pro league debut at 15 for TN Tech. Definitely well hyped, and he's lived up to the hype so far.
And here comes Jesus Perez, one of the players that has performed well for Trinidad and Tobago. Defensive combination, conceding just 1 goal in fact 2 goals in 3 matches. Second goal, of course, coming in this match. Skipper Gomez tries to find Dillon. Dillon can't control it on the first touch, picks it up eventually. Ike Manjus, clever ball into Gomez, who's happy to burst forward now if he can keep his footing.
Referee.
But he gets a corner in the end. It's a goal kick. It's a goal kick. As Lasana Livewood appealed from here for something different.
Gomez there. Definitely thought it was a foul, but nothing given. A good overlap and good 1-2 there with good flick by Ike Manjus into his path.
But he seems very happy to go forward as the fourth official, Kimbell Ward, signals 1 minute of time remaining in the first half. So just 1 minute remaining in the first half here at the Hazley Crawford Stadium. And not many supporters would have predicted this. Not many pundits would have called this result at halftime. Trinidad and Tobago 0, Cuba 1. That could change here, but a fantastic tackle there by
well read by
Trimmingham.
Josiah Trimmingham.
So the Cubans certainly have impressed, getting an early goal and not conceding any. Here's the goal scorer, Lopez now. He's got some work to do. Gets past 1. Has the attention of 2 now, can't get his cross in. And Shannon Gomez, look at that progression from the young man. He seemed to look at him as like, no son, you're not going to get past this army tanker. Call that leading by example perhaps from the TNT skipper.
Yeah, very good to see. He's not the biggest guy, Shannon Gomez, but he's definitely fired up.
Well, that's the end of the first half action here at the Hazley Crawford Stadium in this Caribbean Under-20 Championship match between Cuba and Trinidad and Tobago at halftime. It is the host team that are behind as Cuba lead by 1-0 against Trinidad and Tobago. Here's a look at some of the first half action. Dillon getting his first opportunity in the match and getting 2 opportunities, one coming off the goalkeeper and the other one just off the inside of the crossbar.
Yeah. How the game swings, right after that now you see Trinidad and Tobago are weak clearance from Welsh, and there's the effort.
Lopez getting that one into the
Looping
back
over
of the net for
Perez.
Trinidad and Tobago. Here's Levi Garcia now, always in the action there. But he seemed to get quite a few knocks, Garcia. Cuba now on the attack. Lopez again the goal scorer with another opportunity. And how close was that? Welsh paying a lot of attention to that.
There.
But here's another opportunity for Trinidad and Tobago now.
That's
Humphreys,
yeah.
That one just going wide of the mark. More opportunities from Trinidad and Tobago. Dillon involved in them. Big guy, but did take quite a few knocks in the match.
Yeah, just 17 years old, Nicholas Dillon.
Shannon Gomez, the skipper, he likes to get forward when he can. Certainly created a lot of opportunities with his crosses. That one there causing all sorts of trouble for the goalkeeper, Pozo. And Levi Garcia, only 16 years old, but certainly one of the highly fancy Trinidad and Tobago players, creating a lot of stir. But Lopez on the other end had to contend with this guy, Shannon Gomez. No, sir. WWE at its best here at Hazley Crawford Stadium. Look at this steer. I just love it. So at the halftime, it is Cuba 1, Trinidad and Tobago 0. Of course, we are streaming live at www.wesportstv.com. That's www.wesportstv.com. And we are bringing you all of the Caribbean Championship action here at the Hazley Crawford Stadium in Trinidad and the Atherbolden Stadium. At halftime at the Hazley Crawford Stadium, though, it's Cuba 1, Trinidad and Tobago 0.
I do this for every Trinidadian. Wield the mic in hand like weapons of an Asgardian. If you want to cross my line, take your time. I will direct you. Seek some advice from Dr. Kevorkian. I drop this on the station. The rotation is as much as when the circus play organs and the accordions. You ain't got no venom, use a pseudoscorpion. They diss me and I embarrass you in front of your audience. Tell them that I'm the West Indian. Same level as the French Merovingian. I am the iOS, you are just the Symbian. I will meet you anywhere like an amphibian.